game.
Will not be phased by an occasion like this, which is important to have in your side. They got some young kids in there. They'll be able to look to Liam Farrell, who's played on stages of grand finals, played at Challenge Cup finals, international games. That man will lead them. It's going to be a victory. A lot will revolve around him.
There's another player I'm looking forward to watching. That's Junior December. Now, Bevan French and Jay Field have been lighting up the English Super League for a couple of years now, but Junior December, one to watch. Brian.
You know, last year, media day at Wigan, nobody wanted to speak to that man. Injury in the team, he got his go. He is now the superstar of the game. Super League's Young Player of the Year last year. This man has got an incredible future ahead of him. Watch him hitting Ollie Leyland today.
The countdown is on. Wigan v Warrington. Shuffle up and deal. Rugby League is back in Vegas. Warrington, first possession. Don't worry about the field dimensions. The rivalry of clubs like this, you can throw them a house brick and put them on the road out the back, and they would go at it. So high intensity to start. 4 defenders in there for Wigan. Right in front of the Warriors throng at this end of the ground. Paul Vaughan, this hit up. Nasemba goes low. Kate Ellis in the tackle as well. Likewise there. They're certainly laying a platform in the opening set, Wigan. 4 tackles in, and Warrington still on their own 20. Warrington have won their opening 2 matches of the Super League season. This is a round 3 game. And Wigan 1-1 after that incredible 1-0 loss in round 1 against Lee. So the Warriors' first possession, Abasmiski it is, in off the wing, the Lebanon international.
Well, there's a reason why the Wigan Warriors are 2-time defending champions, and that's defensively they're great. And a fantastic opening set from them with the kick deep into the corner. Made it really hard for Warrington. Here's December.
If you want to know a stat that is absolutely out of this world, they've conceded only 7 points, Wigan, in their last 6 games. Only 2 points conceded in the last 4 games of last year, including the grand final. Just 1 try in their last 6 games. That's what Warrington's up against today. So no kick. It is a chance to run. Smith did well. Expansive football by the Warriors. The kick a little long back in field from Marshall, but it was high skill from the Warriors early.
Well, they push the kick. They know where the kick is going to come from. Arguably the best kicking game in the competition is Harry Smith. Warrington came to put pressure on Harry Smith. He obviously ran the ball at that stage. Ollie Leyland kicked for Warrington. George Williams can also kick, but the kicking for Wigan will predominantly be done by that man that Warrington failed to close down, Harry Smith.
Yeah, they have some great try scorers in their side. Liam Marshall, one of the best. Matty Ashton for Warrington knows his way to the try line. If these 2 sides can line it up. There is Ashton right on cue with that run. 9 metres inside the Wigan half. Look, apologies too. We'll stick to 9 and 10 metres, even if the field isn't quite that. We'll go by the field markings. Jay Field to bring it back.
That was a very good set from Warrington. They worked that off their own try line after the kick went into the centre field there. Wigan with it, but they've done well to get to this point of the field after coming off their own line.
Marshall with a run there has scored 8 tries in his past 6 matches against Warrington. So if you want someone to follow a form line, the number 5 from Wigan will find a try at some point in this game. This time with Ellis. Everyone's got a story. His rugby league journey started in Dubbo in Western New South Wales. Luke Thompson on the last tackle here for Wigan, 38 metres away from the Warrington line. Smith to direct them downfield with this bomb to the corner. Good catch. Josh Thulis, who hopefully for Warrington's sake will have a few shots at goal in this match. But it is tough on the kickers. They've had very little goal-kicking practice at rugby league posts whilst preparing in Vegas. Hard to find a set. So Wolves with the ball 25 metres away from their own line. Danny Walker has the dummy half duties, one of the best in the league. Now with Fitzgibbon. He had his claiming crusher tackle. He had all sorts of shoulder dramas last year. Lachlan Fitzgibbon This does not look like a player feigning injury. Fitzgibbon missed the back half of last year with shoulder problems, only made his comeback last week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, no,
yeah,
without
he's been
doubt.
punched there.
Liam Byrne could be in a spot of bother here.
While we have all concern with Lachlan Fitzgibbon at this point, it does give us an opportunity to go to Lara Pitt. Now, Lara's had the privilege of covering some big rugby league matches in her time with Fox, but where does the atmosphere rate in this one, Lara?
Oh, well, the colour and carnival atmosphere, Vossi, has already reached fever pitch here. We know these Wigan and Warriors fans, they have been seen and heard in Sin City all week. Now they've set up camp at opposite ends of Allegiant Stadium. I can tell you what it looks like right now. The Cherry and Whites, they're upping the ante. They have been in full voice. 60-40 split, I'm tipping at the moment. 11,000 fans, though, have made the trip from England. It has been an enormous effort from the Super League clubs.
I think, thank you, Lara. I think Lachlan is absolutely disbelieving that there is no penalty showing here.
He's on court.
Okay.
No green card, so Lachlan Fitzgibbon stays on the field.
Okay. So a bit to unpack there. And Lachlan Fitzgibbon was walking away from the scene of the action thinking, well, yeah, we're taking a kick for touch, aren't we? Penalty? And instead, on report, but just play the ball. I'll go explain that to a first-time viewer. There's a few today. The American in the crowd working what happened there. Back for Williams, his kick. Now 30 years of age, George Williams. Marshall has been busy early.
This is where Wigan have an advantage, I think. The two wingers returning the ball, Marshall on one side and Abbas Miski on the other side, do it maybe better than any other pairing in the competition. I'd also like you to keep an eye on the left centre for Wigan. His footwork, Jake Wardle, is quite phenomenal. They're trying to get the ball to him and get him one-on-one with Aaron Lindup on the other side. Watch that unfold throughout this game.
Really tuned in just to watch this man today, Evan French. What an incredible season last year. Again, the right to left from Wigan, and Field flashes through, but the pass is a horror. It's almost into row 3. At full throttle, the crowd ignited, and the pass was sloppy.
Well, that is the danger of Jay Field. This footwork and the speed just accelerates past George Williams, gets into the backfield. There was a few Warrington players around there. It was going to be tough, so it might have broken down anyway, even if he found the pass and found the winger Liam Marshall. Yeah,
the cover looked there, and I think there was a call on the inside from Cruz Leamy. Maybe that's where Field should have looked.
So incomplete, I think they would say there. That was
but well-run play from Wigan.
But that is a glimpse of what they're capable of. The 1 and the 6 are dynamic players, Field and French, with speed to boot. So Walker gets them rolling again. He is one of the best dummy halves in the league. Either side of the world, he shows it here. Danny Walker, Warrington born and bred. James Curry working on that side. They are chipping away their best chance. Daniel Russell, PNG International, will play it 25 away from the line. Williams to test out Miski. It's not Miski who goes for it. Kieran loses it. Warrington with Toby King have been presented. They've been presented a potential 4-pointer.
It's coming up to tackle 1. I have a try. I'm talking through the process, mate. Confirm the tackle isn't complete. I judge that the ball carrying arm's always up.
That will be the key. Is the tackle incomplete? Now, did Adam Kieran come down with the ball, hit the ground? He's stationary, and if the Warrington player falls on him, that is the end of the section.
Establish the chase
check offside first.
Ball
off the kick. He's good in the air.
Confirming chases to the left. Onside. Happy to play on from this point.
So
we're
Adam Kieran,
challenge now.
The Wigan player.
Something close, please. Something close on the challenge.
Ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be very close. I thought Miski was going to go, but Kieran's in front.
Take possession. So
he owns it.
Now. Is the tackle complete? Is the ball carrying arm down?
Down.
So go slow on this one, please. This will do me.
He steals the ball after the fact, I think.
This angle, please. Looking to establish if the ball carrying arm is down. If the ball carrying arm is down,
you're going to look for a freeze frame then, aren't you?
He's in contact with the tackle.
Come on, Ryan. And Randy, which way are you going?
Well,
angle, please.
Have a bet, folks.
I don't think it's a try.
Put your chips in.
I don't think it's a try. I think
he gives a try.
Brian says try.
See, I think that right arm might have touched the ground. I thought he was on his back, right arm touches the ground, carrying the ball. It was then stolen.
I've had success all week in there.
Yeah, that's it. We're down to our last two at the No Texas Hold'em table. They've gone all in.
Yeah, this one's nice and slow.
Toby
Kieran takes possession. Just need to establish, does the ball carrying arm touch the ground? So
the right arm.
He's in his right arm at that point. And you can see the ball carrying arm is down. Let's play it through. And you can see King is on him at that point. The tackle is complete, therefore he cannot steal the ball.
Well, I don't.
So, thank you, I've made my decision.
Do you need a loan?
No try, penalty.
Our pockets are empty.
I might have a dime or two I could lend you. So I'm with you, Brian, though. I know arm and that, but for me, the tackle is still in motion.
Still moving.
But Toby King is denied the first try, and they can't believe it. He cannot believe it.
I think Adam Kieran just owned the catch. He owned the catch, and the fact that he did hit the background, video referee explained it well. Unfortunate for Warrington.
You'll see that again, though. Toby King, he's a big aerial threat. The wingers aren't the tallest. They'll go there again. You know, they may have the magic recipe when it comes to facing the Wigan Warriors. In that unbelievable season last year, Warrington went to Wigan in July and won 40 points to 4. Question marks asked about the Wigan club at that stage. Of course, they went on to greater things, but they've had success in the past against them.
Ball came out in the tackle there. Kieran's having some anxious moments. The bomb, and then he loses the ball in the tackle there. And now a set restart here for Wigan. A little bit overzealous there. The tackle on Farrell. And it is Ellis. 10 metres inside Warrington territory. No points as yet. Wigan have had the better of play. Warrington the first big scoring chance. Harry Smith sweeps them round to the right. Good ball. Ellis almost through. Took a good tackle from Fitzgibbon to stop him there. 25 away. Smith with it again. The battle of two very good playmakers today. Smith and Williams, the generals for their teams. Field bobbing around with French. Alarm bell starting to ring. Bevan French. He can dodge raindrops. He's 6 metres away from the line. Just gives us a show of his talents there. Smith's left footer, right across field. December a target, got the ball to Marshall! He hopped on the trampoline. He finds a bit of air and has scored in the corner. As close as any try to the crowd can be.
It's tackle 5. We have a try. Checking grounding, please, mate.
Well, we've just been talking about targets for the Warrington team.
Kick, so we need to review onside, offside, please.
We'll just check onside, but Junior Nasemba.
Pause the ball on the foot to confirm the chase to the left or onside.
They look good.
Confirm chaser onside, happy to play on from this point.
Junior Nasemba, 6'5". What a target he is. Gets his arms up above his head. That's remarkable stuff. That is brilliant from Nasemba, a 20-year-old back rower. And just watch Liam Marshall.
In the field of play.
Oh, that is miraculous.
Dropped it.
Determine if actually there is separation or not.
Someone call the police. There's been a robbery.
Oh, he's dropped it.
He's one of the best finishers in rugby league.
Does the ball come away from the fingers?
His athleticism.
If it does, it does.
It comes away.
Regrip.
It comes away. Oh. No doubt it comes away. He was that high in the air that the outstretched arm wasn't long enough to keep control of the footy.
I had the lines prepared for the American fans watching this for the first time, and they thought this is what it's all about.
Just keep on going through these angles.
I tell you what,
I can't see them giving this.
Everyone is on point here. Lee's our cameraman down in that corner. That shot, we're all working in
nice and slow here, please.
Very confined areas. Our on-ground camera crew.
If you played in fast motion, he drops it.
You know what? I'm pretty sure he got up off the ground and said the same thing to his teammates.
There, please. You can see there is clear separation from Liam Marshall's hand and ball.
What about the shot of the body?
Knock on. Thank you. I've made my decision.
The modern-day winger, but it is literally...
He's done everything but get the ball. He's done everything.
Everything.
Incredible.
Mate, the bloke's a star.
Twisting his
the
body
bloke is a star. Don't worry about that.
So 2 no tries in almost back-to-back sets now.
He'll get a go in that corner again. He'll ice it next time.
Okay. Jeez, what chips are you betting with now, Brian? You're betting on it's an IOU.
Stick with me. I'm out of town tomorrow.
Look, in the history of Liam Marshall, his second game, he scored 4 tries against Warrington. We're going back a long way, but he's been a try scorer right from the get-go of his career.
Well, he's third all-time. He's third all-time in the Super League.
So now Warrington back after a close escape. Vaughan with a hit up. Now 33 years of age, Paul Vaughan. Oh, gee, that was really sloppy. It's almost as if it was an afterthought to go the short side. And the ball coughed up. Russell was uncertain, and Wigan had possession.
Yeah, Dan Russell. Dragons fans will know about Dan Russell. He puts that one down. Puts a bit of pressure now on Warrington. Great field position for Wigan.
Cruz leading 17 in the dummy half duties. Chalked up 200 Super League games last week. Now French, G moves well. Smith, Azemba looking for that offload. That is good defence. 15 away from the line, halfway through the set. Wardle, Smith, ready to go again. Liam Byrne hasn't scored a Super League try since 2020. What's his price in Vegas? Ellis with it. Flick pass. Alive for French. Kept going for Smith. Switch of play. Field with the ball. Dangerous in this position. A lot of steps. Now leaning Ellis. Smith. Big floating ball over the top. And on the bounce over the sideline.
It was the right play, and he had 2 men unmarked on that side. The Warrington defence had jammed in and created space for those men on the extreme edge. Just couldn't find the body.
A couple of plays in that set looked a bit dishevelled. Maybe not as structured as you would expect from Wigan. And probably suitably ends on a note like that. They'll want to attack in a better form. They got a great position after the Warrington mistake. You'd expect more from Wigan in that attacking position over the course of a set. Not
as clinical as we've seen them further away from the try line. That was messy. That was a messy set.
Just a little treatment here for Luke Yates. Just a little souvenir. And that was a takeaway from last year. You talk to the players, and like there were 3 players split inside 10 minutes. And to the American who was coming along, they were staggered by that. The claret was flowing early, and so it is here. Our schedule today is massive. Our second game will be the first of the NRL matches. The Canberra Vegas Raiders taking on the Wars, the New Zealand Warriors. The Warriors contingent in Vegas is enormous. Haven't they had a presence here? So play back underway with Warrington. Hard to believe we haven't had points. Loving the attacking mindset of Wigan. Coach Pete had promised that. We're here to entertain. It's not just about the 2 points. We are here to entertain. Vaughan outside the 20. They slowly play the ball down. Now Williams hoping to expand on that right side, and Daniel Russell, his first year in the Super League. Walker, he's got them thinking already. Now Curry. Wolves debut as a 17-year-old. Way back in 2012. And now it is Warrington's turn to go straight down the hay, diddle-diddle.
That was Dufty.
Dufty counters what Jay Field did earlier. Williams, wider ball. Russell, they've got a big chance to the in-goal. And this time the clean-up work of Marshall is as good as it gets.
Well, they've got them jammed in this corner now, Warrington. Let's see how quick they can get off their line. Really puts the Warriors under pressure. Here's Matt Duffy. Bit of footwork, just too quick for them. Down the middle of the field. It's been a bit quiet, but that's what he can do, Matt Duffy.
Again, this is the stage. I mean, there's another factor. You see Duffy and Field, they may be two of the smaller players on the field, but they may be the best on ground. Kick from Smith, low and hard. Down to Thulis, 22 years of age. Runs into the meat of the sandwich and steals the meat. Almost back to the 40.
Well, that's a brilliant return. Brilliant.
Followed up by Matty Ashton. This is good from Warrington. They were not slow out of the blocks. It was that Wigan started so well, but Warrington are throwing just as many punches figuratively as what Wigan are now in attack. Oh, he had a little bobble. Got it back. 41 away. Now for Walker. Quite unhappy, a little slow. Ollie Leyland there. What a day for him. Just his second Super League game for the club, the former London Bronco. Williams obviously the stronger guiding hand. This one is towards Besky. In perfect control. Nice balance from the Wigan right winger.
That's a good finish to the set. Started with a run from Thulis, a kick return. Probably a bit slow to play off the back of that after Thulis opened the Wigan Warriors defence up slightly, but good kick to finish the set, and now Wigan under pressure.
Indeed they are. Marshall in from left wing. Marshall and Miski very busy for Wigan. Now the crowd find their voice. Have a listen to this. Ellis offload. French. December. What an athletic figure. Imposing. Big fend. Massive fend. And away. Well, that was on the gigantic side. I think Ollie Leyland has a souvenir of Vegas. It's the palm print of December on his sternum.
Yeah, Ollie Leyland only a little body, and he's got his work cut out. December a giant, and just showing us what he can do with that run.
Now Ashton skirting wide, has beaten one, got away from Kieran. That way across field to advance the ball some 9 or 10 metres. 20 inside their own half. I think it is fair to say the crowd is 50% bigger than it was at kickoff. We've only been underway 15 minutes. Williams brings Duffy to the play. A skip in front of the defence. It's headed to the Wigan half. Thulis and Williams again straightens them up. The ball put down on the run by Fitzgibbon. His hands let him down.
Well, it looked good, but it was very optimistic. And you know, when you throw a long, flat ball like George just did, it needs to be perfect. And just, I think it hit him too hard. He was running that hard, Fitzgibbon, and he was right on the defence. So a tough one to take.
Absolutely. He would have taken some stopping if he reeled it in, but no, it wasn't to be.
Mighty Warrington Wolves. Hello to everyone watching out of that great rugby league town right now. The Rodney, the hotel opposite the home ground. They will be glued to their sets. Tyler Dupree getting ready to come on for Wigan. So, first change is made. Wigan in possession just inside their own half. Burn the player off. Dupree straight into the action and makes quite the start. A tackle busts and 10 metres run. Now Ellis to French. Good defence. That's the best job they've done on French so far today. That was King up with Leyland. They're only 25 metres from the Warrington line. Still we wait for the first points. Historic first points. Who will have the honour? It's Smith who'll kick, looking for Marshall, looking for Waddle. It bounces free. It comes up for Wigan. And would you believe Tyler Dupree, the nephew of a Super Bowl winner, may have the first try in Vegas. Who writes that script?
Just off the bench. Just off the bench in the home of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Comes off a Warrington hand, please.
Could a man with strong NFL links have got the first try in 2025?
Right, there's no one in the rugby league world who has an uncle who won a Super Bowl. No one. He's been on a minute.
On the foot, please.
He may have the first try, Brandy.
Let's not get too excited.
Thompson is offside to the right. Let's just track him to see his involvement in the play.
Right side offside, so let's track him.
They're now looking at active and passive this year, so that's a passive. Offside but passive, so that will not affect this.
It's whether Liam Marshall touches the ball.
Correct.
That's the key.
Both hands are up.
Oh boy.
Any other angles, please?
We're going to have to swing around. Here we go. This will tell us.
That's a Warrington hand there. You can see that comes off the Warrington hand.
Can I come back in and say I think
nice
it's a try?
Slow, please.
I think
comes off the Warrington hand.
Well, those fingers.
Let's play it on from this point, please. That comes off Josh Fulis.
No, that's it. That's the end of the section. Once that's been cleared, that'll be a try.
This is an amazing moment for this play.
Tyler Dupree just on the field. Scores the first try in Vegas.
Where is Uncle
in Super League history?
Where is Uncle Billy Joe? Billy Joe Dupree, a Super Bowl winner with the Dallas Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the first try in Vegas. It belongs to the Wigan Warriors. Lock it in. 4-0 to Wigan. And Tyler Dupree is the man who gets the try.
Well, the kicks recently have been threatening, haven't they? They've come awfully close, both sides, scoring tries off kicks. This one, well, Liam Marshall, the fact that he could navigate his way around the defence and get into the contest was the reason the try has been scored. Could have easily just made contact there and given up, but Liam Marshall, the try scorer, generally does the job this time for his teammate. Eyes on the ball, but gets around the defence. Video referee showed that it was the Warrington hand and Dupree on the spot. He's following the ball.
A special first try scorer.
A front rower, no less, Brian. I said earlier, everyone's got a story besides the family ties. Dupree is a try scorer. Now, 2021, he's playing for the Great Oldham Club. He's their leading try scorer for the season, the front rower.
He's had a remarkable ascendancy the last few years.
So the form guide, those that wanted to back a Smokey, you got one for the first try. And Wigan lead by 6 points to 0.
Adam Kieran converts, and he did a pretty good job last year, 79 from 93 at 85%. So Kieran pretty hot with the boot, and there's the kick again on the spot.
And further to it, I think it was his mum, Jackie, was pretty keen for him to go to the NFL as well, to actually pursue that as the chosen sport. But he stuck with rugby league.
Pick league instead.
And yet here he is in Vegas. It's an amazing yard. So Wigan in possession. And it is the try scorer straight away back off the back fence. Farrell takes that run. He's had a lot of great moments in his career, but this will be right up there playing today and having the honour of captain. They're 22 away from their own line. December has been a force. I think there are many more internationals to come for Junior December. Now French, they work to the right side. Good job on field. That's King. He's made a couple of good tackles now. Toby King.
Yep.
And will be Smith to kick. He's got a good boot on him. Spiralling its way down to Dufty. He has scored in both matches this year so far for Warrington. And play one is just inside their 40. Everyone close to the action here at Allegiant Stadium. Away, and they're ready to rock and roll again. A little deflated by conceding the first try, Warrington. Played there by Lindop. The fellow wearing the jumper 33 doesn't turn 19 for another couple of weeks. An experience as an 18-year-old. Williams went brilliant! Defence Gibbon, and Field comes up with with a try saver.
Yeah, Jay Field just gets a foot of Lachlan Fitzgibbon to pull him down. Here come Warrington again.
Sleight of hand was magnificent from Williams. The catch there from Wardle is pretty smart as well. Sam cannot sit still watching that. Aren't they going blow for blow, these two sides?
Lovely short ball there from George Williams. Looked like he was going out the back. Hits the lead runner in Lachlan Fitzgibbon, who is a great hole runner and has been at his time at Newcastle in Australia. The kick, almost. It was Dan Russell going up for that kick, but ended up on his back. Bevan French throws the dummy. He'll get a quick play the ball here.
Brian, 20 minutes in, Super League putting on a good exhibition.
Oh, absolutely. It's exactly what we wanted. We've built up to this for months and months now. Delighted to have these two sides showcasing the sport from the Northern Hemisphere. They're doing a good job, and I think any neutrals tuning in here will be impressed.
Wardle threatened there, last tackle. Smith is going to test them with a high ball again. Dufty is ready, willing and able with it from 10 metres away from his own stripe, his own goal line. And again, Warrington starting inside their own territory. Raiders and Warriors are in the house. That is the Canberra Raiders and the New Zealand Warriors ready to go in the first of the 2 NRL games. We'll have every second of the action for you right here. Australia versus England, the women's test. Penrith and Cronulla later. This time it is Jay Field with the ball. He's a wonderful mover. In fact, Field and French, who have become stars in the Super League, the first time we really saw them take the stage, Australian and New Zealand viewers will remember Auckland Nines and Nines tournaments. They were superb in that format of the game. Wigan on halfway. Leeming. There for Farrell to advance it inside the 40. Leeming probably itching to have a run. He finds French there.
Steps and dummies his way past the 30 there. He beat Ollie Leyland hands down.
Ooh, that ball knocked down. Ellis claiming a set restart. Yes, it will be. Touched by Warrington. Jay Field, they can reset here. 25 away.
Big set of 6 here for Warrington defensively. Down 6-0.
So this is going to really work over the Warrington defence, having conceded the first try. Sam Walder's now on. He took that hit up. He's a big frame. Lovely hands. Kieran to Miskey. Miskey for the corner. It's going to be close. Dufty got across there. Miskey is a little bit neither here nor there.
I'm out.
Oh,
You've gone early.
You're home. You're out.
Chicken touching goal grounding, please.
Well, they've had plenty of ball down this end of the field, Wigan, and they've looked a little scratchy when they're close to the try line. That's as good a play that they've run at this end of the field, and it was a brilliant ball.
In possession of the ball.
Took some impact, didn't he?
Oh, he hit him with everything.
In his right hand.
Oh, boy, that.
Oh, it's a try.
Oh, my God.
Has the ball touched the ground yet, Brian? Have we freezed it at the right point?
You bet you have.
You can see the hands are still on the ball.
Oh, no.
Can we just confirm the back angle, just to confirm the trailing
Gone up as a try.
is in the field of play?
I think everything's off the ground. I think knees and elbows.
In possession.
But what about the ball?
In possession of the ball.
Ball
there.
Gets down.
You can see the feet are in the air. The feet are still in the air. Now we can go to the first angle you showed me, please. Just.
It's going to be.
You reckon it's a ball?
Go on this, please. You can. Nice on this frame. You can see the right hand is always on the ball. Now we can flip it to the first angle you showed me, please. The very first angle.
I don't think you'll be able to find anything to overturn the on-field decision.
The right hand always remains on the ball.
Dufty couldn't have done any more to stop that try.
I made my decision.
It's going to be a try.
It's going to be a try. Wow, what an exhibition! What you are watching and witnessing here. Abbas Miskey has just put one up in lights here in Vegas. I know there's a lot of shows here. There's a hell of a lot of shows you've got to pick from. But the Wingers have got their own show in Vegas.
They're here to entertain, aren't they?
Yeah,
the Lebanese international, he's done just that.
And he got hit with everything. Like, Dufty hit him with everything. So for him to control the ball, but it was the ball from the inside. Watch the catch pass that gets it out to Miskey. Adam Kieran. Catch, pass, release before the winger could make contact and close him down. And then Miskey was he got hit and he was moving sideways rapidly. Like he was going out for all money, and he bobbled the ball before he started his descent to the ground. He did well to control it and in the end get it down and score that try. That's a brilliant try.
Well, he's almost become the first player in history to have his feet dangling over the lap of a spectator in the front row. I mean, his body is at right angles to the corner post, and they are so close to the action.
In Las Vegas, Fossey.
Any mention of laps is dangerous.
Well, you can't be any closer to the sideline than this one. For Kieran.
85% kicker last year. That's impressive.
This is for 12-0. It's changed very quickly on the scoreboard. Kieran's kick is a beauty. 2 from 2. Let's talk more about Abbas Miski, who is not a star in the NRL, just half a dozen games, Brian.
Oh, what a great pickup he was from London for them. Great finisher, as I say, he returns the ball from the other end of the field brilliantly. But in a game where you haven't played too badly, I'm talking about Warrington here.
Oh, what about
you might have scored first, and you'd find yourself 12 points down and a camera down as well.
What are they worth?
Well, there's not much of it left.
It's all happening at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. You're watching it live and exclusive right here. And Dupree with a hit up. So Warrington would want to be next to score. They've created opportunity. They won't feel that they deserve to be any further than 12 points behind. Just seeing Walters, they have got some big boys off the bench. Now Nasimba.
It's eye-catching when he winds up, isn't it? Nasimba.
Well, they're certainly all athletic. You see Dupree and Walters come off the bench. On the back of what Nasimba is doing. Now Cruz leaving. Good run. Steals meters up to halfway. Smith on the front foot. That's a really good set, Wigan, after points. Nice catch, Dufty. This is at the Wigan supporters' end of the ground. Dufty is going cross country.
Boy, he backed himself, but it was risky. He was running backwards to get around them, and only just. And then a bit of a pressure pass to finish things off. That was dangerous there.
You just wonder, are those decisions affected by the scoreline, the time of the game, that maybe a bit of frustration building up? As I said, they haven't been terrible, but they find themselves 2 scores down and in a little bit of a hole in this first half.
Away from their own line. Joe Philbin taking that hit up. Sam Burgess working the Warrington Wolves bench now. And that now has Geordie Crowther into the dummy half duties. Socks down here in Vegas. And he'd end up with the wardrobe penalty in the NFL. Kick down to Marshall. He's with it again.
All in front of the kicker, Warrington, so they had to wait to hold their ground at the 10-metre mark.
Just slow to release there. Now for Wardle. His excellence highlighted by the fact he's been in the Super League Green team the last 2 years. Brian put us on notice with Wardle early. Foot slow to his feet there.
Jake Wardle's footwork exceptional. If they can get him the right ball early, watch out Aaron Lindop's side.
Away. Oh, switch. A little 1-2, if you will, for Wigan there. Leeming starting to come into his own now for Wigan. Smith to Ellis. Busy, middle forward, number 1 offloader so far. Smith in support. Now a little bit of hurdling for Leeming. Last tackle, Wigan, 21 away. Leading by 12. Up for Smith, dummy inside. Now December, hard to stop, on the spin, put down, play on! Green light, Bevan French. A superstar gets a 4-pointer in Vegas. I don't think they can take it off them.
Make my live call regardless. All right. So your live call is that it's gone backwards, the touch. Time off. Liam, he's tackled 5. I've got to try. Confirm the ball goes backwards, please.
Well, they showed very early in the piece, the Wigan Warriors,
okay,
that
so
they were dangerous on the last play.
If the ball goes backwards in relation to the ground, please, so something tight.
I'm not sure whether it's a knockback or a knock-on. I was happy with the call to play on, but if we replay it now and have it...
How do we ever live without video refs?
Harry Smith down that short side again did a great job to evade the chase. Semba causing problems.
See, it comes off Walters. And we can see that clearly goes backwards in relation to the ground. I'm happy to play on from this point.
That's got to be
on the grounding, please.
Video ref's happy with the back.
And the ball is grounded. I've made my decision.
The knockback call.
Well, it's another one for the scrapbook, the bulging scrapbook, Brian, of Bevan French. That with all the trophies and honours that he's picked up, he now is a try scorer in Vegas.
There's not a more exciting player in the Betfred Super League than Bevan French. He's a joy to watch. That'll be one of the easier finishes, but you've got to put yourself in positions to finish plays like that.
Great reaction from all those around the halfback, Harry Smith, who ran the ball. Just watch how he evades the chase here. They come out really hard from marker, just a little bit of footwork, dummy, then off. And that creates the space. December again. What a handful he is. Pirouettes out of a tackle, throws the ball back on the inside. Knockback, Bevan French scoops it up to score Wigan's third try. They've got a job in front of now Warrington.
Tell you what, plenty went wrong for that right edge defence from a Warrington perspective there. As you say, it all started with Harry Smith's decision to run. They tried to rush him, left themselves at 6s and 7s. And now what was a 12-0 hole was probably going to be an 18-0 hole.
Watching that back there, we always had another front rower. We always had Sam Walters off the bench coming up with a try. Everybody's got that on their bingo ticket. This is for 18-0. And there's still 11 minutes to go first half. I wonder what if last minute, if Andrew Webster, Ricky Stewart watching this approach of Wigan, is this the blueprint for today? They're all first-timers here. Ricky Stewart is in the crowd watching all of this unfold. And they've been bright and breezy, Wigan.
I know what Ricky Stewart will be doing. He'll be watching English players. We spoke to him last night. He's got the utmost admiration for the players that come out of the Super League competition. And I don't think any coach, more than Ricky Stewart, has been able to integrate players from the Super League competition to become successful NRL players.
Wells on his way to the Dolphins next year. Big news from the Rugby League world in the last 7 days. Wigan almost messed that up on their own line there. Warrington need to
they need something. Yeah, they need the ball. That's what they need.
The singing of the Wigan fans now. They have found their voice at 18-0. Not that they were dragging the chain. December with the ball again.
And if they can't force a mistake, they need the Wigan kicking the ball from inside their 30.
We've got him down for 8 tackle busts in this first half. The man wearing the number 11 for Wigan. Outstanding first half. Away for Smith. His control has been good. Oh, good catch. Good catch by Dufty. Hands in front of his head. And a good kick return to get back over the 40.
There's a chance, isn't there, for Warrington? Work your way back in. You force Wigan to kick from deep. You're returning now around the halfway line. See what sort of pressure they can put on the back three of Wigan at the end of this set.
Over Catalans and Huddersfield to start the year. King with the ball. You wouldn't say in either game they've been great form. Williams tackled without the ball. This is their opportunity. Fitzgibbon saying, what about the sin bin, sir?
Liam Farrell, the man. Penalised for grabbing the Warrington player, and that was George Williams as he tries to pick it up. So penalty certainly warranted, and let's see what they can do now to Wolves.
Metres away. They haven't had a better start position for a set in the match so far. Geordie Crowther with it. Skipping into the line there. I'll back Walker close to the line to have a go if they can get there. Philbin with it this time. 10 away from the Wigan line. Desperate, absolutely desperate to score the Warrington side. Walker, nice hands on the bounce. They're not quite clinical. But Dufty can light it up. Speed and step again. And pass trapped on the boot by Thulis. If it finds their hand, they score in the corner.
Oh, I think Lindop had to drag the ball out of the air. It went over. He let it go over his head.
What about Dufty? What about that run?
I reckon he could have finished it himself nearly.
Oh, that is anti-climax. That is deflating for Warrington.
Still had plenty of tackles left too. And here's the Dufty run that, well, he goes across the face of the whole Wigan defensive line. Beats them all. Probably needed to throw it. You know, I thought the 18-year-old might have been able to grab that. The ball popped up in the air, and there's the mistake. They've come so close, Warrington.
I tell you, Dufty would have taken some stopping if he got in between Field and Marshall as well. I mean, I know they're closing their quick men, but a lot of things were going his way in that run.
Gee, this scoreline's hard to cop for the Wolves fans. They've made 2 of the 5 line breaks in the game, but they find themselves down 18-0. Dupree being changed here, and this will send Patrick Mago into the play for the first time. Dupree's done his job off the bench. 5 hit-ups, send a try scorer. So Wigan 15 metres inside their own half. We are seeing the champions in action. It's a unique day in rugby league where we have a world champion women's side, we have the 4-time NRL champion, we have the Super League champion, all playing on the same card. That is super heavyweight times 3. Now Ellis, nice ball, French with it, little show, he's stepping. French. 32 from the line, last play Wigan. Leeming. Smith has owned the kicking game of Wigan, hasn't he? He's just taken control. A kick to Thulis. Nice catch. Wolves with it.
Yeah, good footwork there, Thulis.
125 from their own line. Now young Lindop. A couple of tries in that Warrington 40-4 win over Wigan last year. That would have been an enormous moment for an 18-year-old to score a try-double against the might of Wigan.
A pretty good strike rate, 12 games, 7 tries for Lindop. Talented youngster.
Philbin just short of halfway. Walker. Oh, that looked forward. That looked forward. That's the first time we've seen a quarterback play here from the rugby league boys. Now Williams kick to the corner of Miski. He steps back. He watches it come down. A tackle off the ground was made by Adam Kieran. He was in a prone position and he's pulled off a tackle.
Well, they go close again, Warrington. They get a result off the back of the kick. King takes the ball, flicks it back to Fitzgibbon, but you're right, Kieran, who was laying on the ground, affects the tackle.
Well, could we say now they've come close to 3-4 scoring opportunities?
You can.
What you'd probably say is an obvious statement. They got to get into the half-time now without inflicting further damage on themselves, Warrington. They haven't been at their best, much like their season so far. Much more improvement left in them, but don't get any more damage on the scoreboard between now and half-time.
Lehman did well, and Field follows up with another dynamic carry. They are living up to the hype. French, Field and Dufty, former NRL players that are just masters of their running game craft. The quick play, the ball at the last. French will take full advantage. Back for Smith. They're in again, Wigan. They are the opportunists. The door opened ever so slightly, and Wigan tore the door from its hinges via French and Smith.
Well, 4 minutes to go. Brian Carney just saying that they had to limit the damage. 18-0 was probably a good thing for Warrington as it stands, and it was Sam Walters, the quick play the ball, the speed of the play the ball. Just look at it. Allowed French to go to the defensive line. Smith back on the inside did well. Great support and footwork there from the halfback. And it's the 7 and 6, but off the back of a quick play the ball. Like, Bevan French was coming at them. They were on their heels, the Warrington defence.
6s and 7s, absolutely, Brandy. And now what was a mountain now, well, that's doubled up. Bevan, beautiful ball back in the inside, so calm, so relaxed on the ball. picks the right pass 9 times out of 10, and well done Harry Smith for backing up in the middle.
So easy, and the fact that you mentioned that, stayed calm, that's so easy to get those sort of situations wrong. Just a little bit of panic, you've got more room than normally you have, and then all of a sudden you don't know what to do with the ball. But Bevan French just summed it up quick, as did that man Smith, the number 7, just pushed off the inside, and they did it beautifully.
Yeah, I've been impressed by the Wigan bench, Brian. They're showing their depth. A 17-man game, but they've all had impact. Dupree, Walters, now Mago coming into the play.
And Tom Forber will impress you when he comes on as well. Through a hooker half option, a very impressive player.
I thought Walters did well to catch the ball. It was a long ball out to him. He had to reach for it, and then that got him on the move. But the way he just split the 2 defenders and got the quick play the ball, that was where the try started.
This will test Sam Burgess at half-time. They're 22-0 down, probably going to go to 24-0 on this stage, where we wanted them to come and give us a competitive game. He'll take everything that he's got, Vossi, to drag him back in.
Obviously, Allegiant Stadium plays host to a very good football side in the Vegas Raiders, but today they're being treated by the best of the Super League, and Wigan are putting on a show. What about this stadium, the Death Star? Totally undercover. We had an awful weather day last year in Vegas. Inside the stadium, not a problem. It is a truly incredible venue. The players are having the experience of a lifetime.
To see it for the first time from the outside is just mind-blowing.
Yes.
It is mind-blowing.
So we're going to bring it back for Wigan. 2 minutes to go. Is there some way? Is there some way Warrington can jag a try? Leeming has got better as the game has gone on.
They are limping to the break, aren't they?
The spine of Wigan, Leeming, Smith, French, Field. What about their running meters first half? Farrell with the ball now. Wigan on halfway. Harry Smith kicked the field goal last year's grand final. Does he want to put a little icing on the cake here before half-time? December with the ball. Down onto his back. That's the 4th. Smith in a dummy half. Gets it up in centre field with Ellis and Leeming. French, that step again. His first move is so impressive. They've lost it at the play the ball. Well, there you go. They're human after all.
Yeah, gee, I'm impressed with Cade Ellis and what he does and what he provides for the halves. We're talking about the speed men, but the quality of ball from Cade Ellis is, again, another reason that they've got so much room.
It's a massive point, and it's often overlooked when people are praising Wigan. His ball-playing ability through the middle has been one of the elements that have elevated Wigan over the last 2 years.
Can you remember Cade Ellis back 10 years ago playing alongside Dylan Edwards, James Fisher-Harris, Jerome Luai in the under-20 side of the Panthers?
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
Grand final side. Now loose ball, little shabby, picked up by Thulis.
Warrington are all over the shop.
They're rattled. They're rattled.
This really surprises me.
The build-up has been so big. Nowhere in the plans was a 24-0 scoreline. Williams, the last attack. Thulis with the ball, seconds on the clock. They're 25 away. They're screaming for it on the left side. That's the way it comes. Nice quick hands, Fitzgibbon. Now the last tackle, the last play of the half. A last chance for points. Walker to Williams, kick through to in goal. Looks too hard, is too hard. So Wigan, incredibly, another clean sheet. Now, what's the record? Their last 6.5 games have conceded only 1 try. They've scored 4 of their own in the opening 40 minutes. Are they just checking something here before they completely blow half-time? Referee Chris Kendall, I think they were checking something else. But that is half-time. Wigan 24, leading Warrington 0.
Well, Wigan with a 4-try shutout of Warrington in this first half. They have dominated possession and the scoreboard and head into the dressing sheds here at Allegiant Stadium at 24-0 up. Well, the NRL Premiership is our next up on our 4-game Vegas Bonanza. It is the Raiders and the Warriors at Allegiant Stadium. Let's go to Lara Pitt.
Yes, Bonnie, the Raiders have arrived. I've got their halfback, Jamal Fogarty. You're soaking this all up, Jamal?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You know, the Wigan fans over here singing songs, we don't really get that back home, so it's cool to experience it. It's cool to see so many people here in different coloured jerseys.
It's a hard and fast track out there, it's looking like. How do you get your speedsters in your back line involved?
Yeah, I think we just got to play through the middle, get a bit of momentum off Big Papa, Big Red, Joey touch through the middle, and hopefully create a bit of ruck speed and let our fast dudes do their thing on the edges.
Got some kiddies at home watching you on the big stage. What are they going to think of Dad lighting it up in Vegas?
Yeah, I think they probably just think it's another game. They probably don't understand how huge the stadium is, and to be here in the NFL stadium compared to back home, but I've already FaceTimed the girls, so they're excited.
Enjoy it. Thanks so much, Jamal.
No worries, thank you.
All right, as it stands at the moment, we have Super League second half action to come at the moment. The Wigan Warriors in command. We'll have all the highlights and analysis next.
Welcome back to Fox League. It is Rugby League in Vegas, and the Super League has delivered an entertaining first 40 minutes. Wigan lead 24-0 over Warrington. Let's take a look at the biggest moment of that first half, and it was Tyler Dupree with the Super Bowl pedigree.
Yeah, it was. What a try to start off the game for the Wigan Warriors. We'd seen a lot of disallowed tries, and the Wigan Warriors come up with a nice kick here over to the left-hand side. The ball then gets deflected back into the middle where Dupree kicks off the first try for the Wigan Warriors. They haven't looked back. We are seeing why they are a powerhouse. They are flexing their muscles, and the Warrington Wolves are chasing their tails, Bonnie.
Well, it is Rugby League in Vegas for 2025 officially underway right here. You can see Sam Burgess giving a bit of a halftime speech. You will see every single moment of every game for the rest of round one right here on Fox.
What a spectacular world our game now lives in. Viva Las Vegas one day, then straight home across the Pacific to complete round one in what's surely the greatest game of all.
Here we go. Enjoy.
Thursday night at the world-class Allianz Stadium, Sydney, it's the Roosters and the Broncos live on Fox League. In this, the biggest challenge of 3-time premiership-winning coach Trent Robinson's 13-year reign at the Roosters.
Crichton!
There's hope with Angus Crichton and Victor Radley.
The Inflictor.
And then there's these Broncos with coach Michael Maguire in and all excuses out. From front row to halfback, and yeah, this amazing fullback. No one knows what's coming next.
Creating something out of nothing.
But you can bet your boots on Friday night football. At 6, these new-look Tigers taking on the Knights, followed by the Dolphins and the Rabbits.
A great start, pick that up.
For the first time, the Masters apprentice, Christian Wolf, face-to-face, well, with a master, the long, skinny coach, no less, Wayne Bennett. Super Saturday kicks off at 5:30 with the Dragons and the Bulldogs. Two of the game's great clubs. 7:30, live, as always, the Seagulls and the Cowboys. DCE and Turbo, Dearden and Drinkwater. That's right, you won't want to miss this one. Sunday ticket at 3. Another candidate for match of the round. Storm versus Eels.
Go transition, where you going, where you going to be?
With coach Craig Bellamy out to maintain his unbeaten opening round status. This time against yet another of his former assistants, Jason Riles. He goes all right, our old mate Bellyache. On the back of Vegas, a magnificent ending to an unforgettable beginning to round one of the 2025 NRL season. Right here at the only place you'll see every competition game live all season long. One and only Fox League.
Well, is it a rugby league event or a rock show? It's hard to tell. Half-time. Crowd enjoying the DJ here at Allegiant Stadium. Wigan fans have obviously enjoyed Half-time, even more, their side. Super League champions, World Club Challenge champions, Challenge Cup champions, leading Warrington 24-0. Greg Alexander, so much to like about their effort.
Wigan were fantastic with the ball and defensively shut down a couple of near-try opportunities for the Warrington side. So really played all over the Warrington in the end. December was a real threat, Brian, and I've loved watching him.
Oh, absolutely. There's more to come from him, not just in this game, but in his career. But Warrington in a huge hole. Dare I say it, first score wins the second half. If it's not Warrington scoring first, they're gone.
Before NRL talent scouts, not that they wouldn't know about Junior December, but before they jump up and down, he's signed a 6-year contract last year until the end of 2030.
Yeah.
So,
I can understand.
Yeah.
As a 20-year-old, he's what a talent.
Warrington v Wigan, second half. Game 1 of 4. They almost got in front of the kicker, Warrington, to start the second half. Mago it is with a run back. So far we've seen 3 of the bench, Mago, Dupree and Walters, and between them they've produced 15 hit-ups. And here is Walters. The big mobile forwards coming off the interchange bench. Leeming was very good. Semper gets involved. Oh boy. He ran straight at Ben Curry there, who rolled away from the collision. Watch this. You've got to try and grab him somewhere. If you go around the knees or hips, you're going to end up in concussion land.
Ben Curry's not a small man either. I mean, he did it to Ollie Leyland in the first half. You can understand that. He's a halfback. He's just done that to a loose forward.
Loving the work of Smith today and rewarded with a try before half-time. His first kick of the second half, fielded by Thulis. And then a claim of a high tackle, but allowed to go by. Warrington inside their 30. It hasn't been the day of young Ollie Leyland yet. He hasn't been able to really make an impression on the game. It is hard. It is a huge occasion. Suddenly you're a second week in the starting 13 at a new club. Inside their own half. Philbin took that run. Hasn't been able to produce an offload. They get up over the advantage line. Walker fighting dynamic carry there by Crowther. And Walker backs around. Now he's the man who can light the touch paper. Danny Walker get things started. Leeming's done well for his opponents. Williams kick. Field was there. Marshall goes back. Between the two of them, they've managed to secure the ball.
Well, they'll get it back if that. At this present time, though, if I'm George Williams, I'm looking to put a kick up where you can score a try, not field position. Field position's all well and good, but at the moment you need to be first to score, so you're putting it up high enough so your chase can get through and make a contest of it.
It's going to be a point, certainly, when the patient approach is just not going to do it anymore. And something a little bit more adventurous will be needed. This first 10 minutes is huge in the context of this game.
Just quietly, I reckon Liam Marshall had a pretty strong case. Philbin runs back from the line, drop out. Decided not to go short. Now Walker. Crowther is having some impact for Warrington. Looks likely. Walker switching right. Williams right up to the line. That's better. Trying to ask a question of this Wigan defence. Played by Russell. 10 away from the line. Williams with it. Needs a straight runner. That is Philbin. Tackled low by Mago. 4 tackles up, Warrington. Needing first point to the second half.
Good tackle.
Brilliant shot there on Fitzgibbon by Kieran.
He's come up with some big defence, Adam Kieran, this afternoon.
Last tackle. Walker to Williams. Kick across the face. A challenge. He's too good. December. He's way too good. Other blokes having to get on a step ladder. He just puts his hands up.
Well, that left side combination of George Williams and Lachlan Fitzgibbon is a dangerous one. And Adam Kieran defensively, as we see the take there from December. He's done it a couple of times this afternoon.
Oh, appreciate the skill of that. Off balance, retreating, and snatched it whilst under pressure. Great play. Miski, good metres as well. Back to the 40. Leeming. And then Ellis Smith. And fouled. Marshall's away. Wigan on the attack for try number 5. Lock it in right now. Field goes over. The fullback has one as well. It is audacious rugby league by the mighty Wigan Warriors.
When you're talking set pieces from centre field, I don't think it gets any better than that. The precision that was run and the passing was brilliant. Ellis again, great. The ball from Jay Field, absolutely on the spot. Marshall down that touchline, back inside to Jay Field, the man that threw him the ball, but that's as good as it gets,
like
Brian.
you say, Brandy, that's near perfect play. Executed, everything's on point. Passes all where they need to be. Patience from Marshall at the end. Little dummy at the end to make sure Dufty doesn't get attracted back inside the field. And that man who could score some spectacular ones gets for him a relatively straightforward one.
Brian, if I will, let's gang up here on Brandy. He's a board member of the Penrith Panthers. Now, on behalf of everyone in Super League, and indeed the Wigan Club, where's the World Club Challenge this year? The Wigan side, back-to-back champion, taking on the four-time champion Penrith. Can you make it happen, Brandy? You're a powerful man.
Well, we'll have to have a board meeting. We'll have to sit down.
Well, what did you like to see this?
The board will have to convene and get together and work it out.
Take that Panther sombrero off.
Yeah.
What you see, you would think it would be a great matchup. Wigan, what you're seeing today.
Well, they got us 2 years ago. They got us 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, let's see.
Let's see it again.
Your wider point is well made. We need, as a game, to lock that fixture into the calendar so it happens every year. Logistically, it works for all clubs, but we've got to elevate that. Like this game is elevating the game of rugby league, so will the World Club Challenge if we get it right regularly.
28-0 kick to come. Were many people back in England thinking that this might be on the cards, this sort of score line?
Speaking to a few of the thousands of Warrington fans that are here, some of them did express a worry because of the lackluster start to the season. That something like this may be on the cards, but they were a minority, Brandy.
Yeah. Adam Kieran does it again.
Yeah, he's having a good day with a boot. Jay Field coming off a hat-trick last week. He's had 2 hat-tricks in his last 5 games. Heaven help Warrington if he gets up with 3 here.
Well, those passes on the inside look fantastic front on them. And you just saw how the Wigan inside men just pulled apart that Warrington defensive line, and then Jay Field delivered the perfect pass.
What a scoreline. The Wigan fans are going to have one heck of a day and night in Vegas on the back of this. They are having the time of their life. They've had a great week. But with the points in the bag, the way it's headed, tonight could be anything. Aiming there. I'm so impressed. Walters.
How good does he move?
How
Walters.
athletic Nasemba. These are modern-day rugby league players. Ellis has been magnificent. Leeming, what about the hands of Nasemba? Now it's wide from Waddle. Marshall away again. Wigan are superb. Chip over the top. Oh, if only it found the hand. The hand of Bevan French. Wigan would have been in for one of the great rugby league drives.
Well, it's been razzle-dazzle from Wigan, hasn't it? It has been great to watch. Open play. Kade Ellis is starting with a fantastic offload in traffic. Hits the line. Little flick out the back to Leeming. And again, the passing. Nasemba off his toes. Just drew in 2. That's so good to watch.
This is scintillating rugby league, folks. And now Warrington forced into a big error. Ball put out on the full from inside the 40. Oh dear.
Oh dear, it's quiet at this end of the field.
It is
the
not
Warrington end is very quiet.
Getting any better. Thoulis had come in and found it. Well,
there'll be some soul searching after this. This is me. I couldn't have seen this coming. Not this scoreline, and not so abject. They look so abject, so out of the game. There's 30 minutes to go. You got Dufty on your field in your team. You got Williams on your team. You got Walker. There's still a hope. But I'll tell you what, it's looking more likely that this will blow out heavily in Wigan's favour.
I do feel very sorry for Walker with that kick over the sideline. He's tried his heart out, and that was his last play. He's been interchanged with Sam Powell now on the field. Sam Powell wouldn't have been dreaming of coming on at 30-0 at any stage this week. Walters with another touch. Wigan are in the zone again. 18 away from the Warrington line. Leeming has been outstanding. This time, kick and chase. Oh, that's a save. That is a save by Matty Ashton. That was a certain 4-pointer coming up for French.
See, all the defence went the way of Cade Ellis, and Leeming realised that, jumped out of dummy half. That's a great play from him, bringing Bevan French through the space, but using the kick. And it was Ashton's desperation that's all that saved it for them.
Leeming's played a bit of half in his career as well, so he's got the ability to just play away from the dummy half position and see a game from a halfback's perspective, as he did at that point.
Well, something goes their way. King fielding the short line dropout, so Warrington have the ball. Ashton now. Comeback has to start somewhere. But he did want to start pretty quickly. Fitzgibbon's gone to the bench too now for Warrington. And they're 10 inside their own half. On it comes with Harrison. Loose ball. But I don't mind if the mindset is offload now. When you're 30-0 down. And Harrison straight away. This is good stuff. James Harrison. Former Batley Bulldog, one of the great clubs in England, Batley. Kick put up by Leyland. They're there again. Couldn't defuse it. Miskey. It's ended up with Marshall. Gee, they've had some possessions, the two wingers for Wigan. Marshall's had a game of it.
Well, I think Marshall was 300 metres, 30 runs last week in their win against Hull.
Sensation returns. Brandy, you played in the halves. Engineer a way back in for Warrington. What, if anything? Oh,
French is away. Back to that in a moment, Brian. Look at French. Bevan French. Superstar becomes megastar. Unloads to Field. Field does some dancing. What a pass. What a rugby league try. I've said it before, but rugby league, American style, you beautiful thing. That is one hell of a try.
They have been scintillating here this afternoon, the Wigan Warriors, and Bevan French out of dummy half off the back of what was a pretty good set from Warrington, playing the ball on the own 20, and out of dummy half, Bevan French opens up the Warrington defence, bounces off a couple of defenders. Field doesn't know where to go, he's searching for space, finds it out on the left edge with a bullet pass. That is a spectacular try. Not the first one they've scored, but boy, they just keep lining up, don't they, these Wigan players? But French and Jay Field, brilliant.
What a twin threat. What a twin threat. And what about the ball at the very end from Jay Field? On the money. Jake Wardle, the beneficiary, in the corner. Oh, that's huge. We said we wanted them to entertain on this stage. Wigan certainly doing that.
Well, he was the 2023 Man of Steel, Bevan French, wasn't he? But then last year, they won the Premiership 23, they won the Premiership 24. He was best on ground in all three of the big games, wasn't he? World Club Challenge, when they beat the Panthers. Challenge Cup final, Grand Final, that man. Man of the match in all three.
The most exciting player in our competition. He had an injury spell last year. Other than that, he would probably have got Man of Steel.
Now, I don't know whether I've raised this. Now, the World Club Challenge, can you make it happen? Wigan v Penrith.
We'll work on it, Andrew.
You speak to his coach, Matt Pete, about Bevan.
My people will speak to your people and we'll make it.
And Brian's people.
You speak to Matt Pete about Bevan French, and he said, even when I, as a coach, maybe I'm a little nervy ahead of games, I just look at Bevan and I relax. Bevan winks at him and says, hey, it'll be okay today.
That's confidence.
The soundtrack to the action is what you're listening to now, the Wigan fans. The supporters have brought so much to Vegas, and I include the Warrington fans in that. They're a little solemn at the moment. Kieran for the perfect record. It's almost hefty. Kieran has done it again. Here's 6 from 6. Wigan are 10 out of 10 for performance. 36-0. Join in with this, folks. Grab me a cherry and white jersey, Brandy. You're going to go. You call the last 20. I'm joining that party. So Miski back with it outside the 20. It has been simply brilliant rugby league. They are doing the game proud today. Don't worry about just Super League. They are doing the sport of rugby league proud. 39 away from their own line. Look at that.
You mentioned that stat about the points against.
Points conceded. I mean, have you ever seen the like? Ever?
Dare I go back to Brandy with that question? How do you engineer a way back into this game? How do you stem the flow? How do you turn the flow?
French is away again! Stop the fight! Stop the fight! They've done it again! Now Luke Thompson has a 4-pointer! This Wigan show is so worthy of Vegas. In fact, it is putting into the shade Donny Osmond and Copperfield. It's the best going this weekend.
And it's Bevan French again. And every time you mention how do the Warrington Wolves get themselves back in the game, well, Wigan open their defence up and score again. Just brilliant play from Bevan French. Look to the outside. Just watch him head on. Brilliant step. Gets inside Leyland. Beats the inside defender.
Tom Forber, who's off the bench. Falling on his inside.
Looking outside, took the defence away, took Dufty down the outside, and then flicked past back inside to the big front row to score the try. Well, it's called some good ones, and they just keep getting better.
Coaches tell you, we've always got improvement in us. They got to tell the players, we've got improvement in us. I'm not sure how much more improvement you need if you can deliver this on this stage.
This is a Wigan side that lost round 1-0 in Golden Point.
Absolutely.
Which was just the most incredible game, but then they bounced back against Hull FC.
That's the point. They dealt with the disappointment of that round 1 defeat. All the credit went to Lee that night, and then boom. Next week, round 2, they face a Hull side who had beaten Catalan Dragons in round 1, and they demolished them.
All right, now another thing to take up. Indoor stadium, England. I mean, you give a dry track, no dew, you give an attack like this one, that facility on a regular basis, you promote the game of rugby league at its absolute level of excellence that you don't get to see.
You got a spare $1 billion?
Well, no, that's your department.
Oh boy.
We could have done that at home, couldn't we? Like, we missed a trick there.
Kieran, this is just incredible rugby league. I had no idea that it could be this good here in Vegas, that you come here, because there's a lot of distractions. It's such an unusual preparation, but to put this level of performance on is a credit to coach and players.
What a dynamite run there from Bevan French. And Matty Peake's done a great job to get this side ready. Obviously, as you said, Brian, after the disappointment of round 1, a big improvement against Hull FC, and now sensational tonight.
I'll throw this at you. I'm a fan of rugby union, love the NRL, and I know you got Nathan Cleary there. Probably the greatest player in your competition, Nathan Cleary. I'm not talking about greatness in that sense. I'm talking about in terms of excitement. I wonder, in rugby union, World Rugby Union or Rugby League, is there a more exciting player than Bevan French?
Boy.
You got some showstoppers in the NRL, I get that. Yeah.
Well, if it's possible to turn up the volume on the Wigan fans, we've just done that. This has been a show. Ellis, another run by the middle forward. 38 metres away from the line. This is just the first of 4 games. All live and exclusive here. French with an offload. Why not? Field with the ball. Devil may care attitude now. Last tackle. Wigan on halfway. This one away for Smith. Cannot fault his game. The number 7. What an accomplice he's been to the performance of the dashing ones in French and Field. He has been the perfect general.
Yeah, just to put some numbers around Bevan French's game. He scored a try, but he's had 4 try assists. They've scored 7. He's been hands on 5.
So Warrington, I don't know what it would be like to be in their shoes at the moment. And you had dreams and hopes of what today was going to be like, and now they get away. So they'll have a crack. And kept alive by King. This is good. There's a chance for their first try. Vaughan offloaded. Play on. Scooped up by Ashton.
6 to go too. Touched by a Wigan player. There's a chance here.
Vaughan did very well. Just one to be in support, the big fella. So across field, Dufty. It's almost forgotten that Dufty's out there. And then tripped, and they're offside. Penalty, Warrington. Poor old Matt Dufty hasn't had the opportunities of his opponents to dazzle. Just a couple of metres away from the line. Vaughan has another crack. Vaughan will get close. Wigan looking for another clean sheet. His extraordinary record being put to the test here. Knocked out of hands. Penalty it is. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah, he's got to be able to get the balls.
What is Kendall's tolerance for infringements? Yates. So play 1. 5 away from the line at 42-0. This time they skip out Harrison with a pass. I'll probably be trying to find Harrison a little more. Going by his early touches. Dufty. Across, straighten. Onto his back in defence was Waddle. Warrington trying to keep it alive. The Wigan defence working as a unit, and a very effective one at that. Vaughan will take another run. 5 away, 3rd tackle. Sam Powell has a little look up there. Able to pass, and Leyland does the same for Williams. That's a good tackle by Farrell. Wasn't falling for any dummy there. Stone King for Leyland. Cross, and nothing doing it all there in front of the posts of Wigan. Last tackle play, a kick, is the most likely to dent the defence. Williams a stab, and there is Field. You cannot find a flaw in the Wigan game.
Well, the coach would have loved that. They've scored 7 tries. They've been brilliant with the ball, but they're under the pump there. There was multiple threats from Williams and Dufty, yet they just shut them down with ease, really, with ease.
Great sign of intent, isn't it? Cruising in the game and willing to defend like this.
Ball steal. Just waiting to see what happens.
And now, just checking, French is down back on the goal line. Well, that would be a disastrous news. You want him to finish the game. He's back up. Penalty to Wigan, 10 away from their own line. Everything's a little different in Vegas, of course. You're observing the yellow goalposts as well. That takes a little bit, the optics of it all to get used to. But it's a magnificent venue. We really hope you're enjoying the coverage thus far. With Raiders and Warriors in the NRL to come next. Australia v England, the women's test match, and then the Penrith Panthers against the Cronulla Sharks. A day like no other in rugby league history. Wigan turn it over, a rare mistake. Warrington with the ball just inside the Warriors' half.
Yeah, just pushed it past Sam Walters. He's been impressive since coming on the field, but just pushed it past there to Cade Ellis. Tries to make up for it with a bit of defence.
Now offload from Vaughan. He's trying hard these last few possessions. Williams, not much joy. George Williams. Once were Wigan Warrior. Harrison. 4th year at the Wolves. He's tackled 20 away from the line. And this time, Leyland linking up with Dufty. It's going to have to be one of these off the top of the head runs. A call of obstruction. Dufty saying, "Hey, sir, what do I do? I'll play to your whistle." Dufty loses the ball. Kendall certainly allowed some licence there. He wants a challenge. He says challenge.
George!
Brian.
That hasn't gone well in the Super League. 10 games in before we had our first successful Captain's Challenge, the first year of it.
Does take a while.
Yeah.
It does take, yep.
We thought that, yeah, take a bit of betting.
Feeding problems and players not knowing really whether they should be challenging or not.
The bunker is different here, isn't it?
What about the view?
Let's go,
Yeah. Look at that. Wow, rugby league here. Pinches. We are here up. We are here. Second of 5 years already locked in, and everything you're hearing is Vegas want league to stay. They're thinking outside the 5 years.
It's great here. I've never been to a night like Fremont Street on Thursday night. The love of the game from everyone there was something that I've never experienced.
Here.
Old Vegas. Dupree is back on, the man who will go down in the record books forevermore as the first try scorer in a Super League game in America. Tyler Dupree. That was a moment. On halfway. There's still 17.5 minutes to go. 42-0. Smith over the shoulder, and suddenly Wigan come up with a few mistakes. I don't know what I want. I feel as if we're obliged to have some Warrington tries. The supporters have come a long way. They've had a great week. I would like to see something for them, but at the same time, I want the Wigan show to continue.
Can't knock the brilliance, can you? Much and all, as we went into this one, we wanted a tight tussle. We thought we might get that. Everything was pointing towards that. But now, in the post-mortem, people will be looking back at Warrington start the season. Granted, 2 wins out of 3. Won't get this game, of course. But in levels of performance, they're way off where they need to be, and have been since the season started.
A lot of pressure on the likes of the Catalans too after the weekend's match. Real pressure there with a star roster. Leyland trying to get things underway a little quicker. It's another opportunity for points for the Wolves. Let's see how they go. The team representing the city of the darts world champion Luke Littler. It is Yates with the ball. 10 away from the line. Powell up left. Harrison. And onto his back in the tackle. That slows things down. Powell now. They'll keep it close. Vaughan. Just not the same dynamics about the Warrington attack. This time, right, a little more room to move. Williams plays the kick and chase card. They've scored. Well, that is the kid. The 18-year-old Aaron Lindop. It looks certain to go over the dead ball line, but he was desperate and committed, and it's a pretty good double.
I agree. It's an amazing job for Lindop, who's only 18, to get his hands on the ball, because it did look too heavy from George Williams. Never gave up. Lindop never gave up, threw himself at the ball and got his hand on it. As I said, he's been a try scorer. He's only played a dozen games as an 18-year-old, but that's his 8th try.
Sam's got a lot of faith in him. Question marks who'd start the season. Roderick Ty or Aaron Lindop. He got the nod, and he hasn't disappointed on an individual level, although it'll probably reflect on the game as entire today.
Well, that for the first time brings in the Warrington end.
Yeah, and I'm happy for that.
To cheer about.
Gee, he'd struggle to get into some venues here, wouldn't he? With that face, Aaron Lindop.
Well, he would, because you've got to be 21.
Oh, he's not getting it. Came out to Australia with the Warrington Academy side there a few years ago. And he is already under contract for 4 years. Good on you. The Warrington fans, the Wolves, at the other end of the ground. Cherry and White of Wigan, aren't they having a day? Young and old, and woman and child. So Warrington on the board, 42-6, 14.5 to go. The most successful club in terms of trophies in rugby league history will now have a win in Vegas to put another notch into a very big belt.
Oh, absolutely. You referenced Milwaukee before the game. They've been at the new camp in Barcelona, playing the Catalan Dragons. They have a desire to bring this game onto stages like this, and with an owner in Mike Danson, he's got the wherewithal to make that happen.
Talk this week too of a game maybe being taken to Ireland.
Yes, Ryan? These two sides, yeah, they're in discussions at the moment. They've got ownership groups and they'll make it happen, Bossy.
Kick-off by Wigan, something they've only had to do 2 of today. And that's always a good thing. So that's only the 2nd try that they have conceded in their last 7 matches. Amazing. When it came from a kick there. One conceded against Hull FC last week, none in the last 4 games. Last year, 3 zeros and a penalty goal conceded in the grand final against Hull KR. It's an extraordinary statistic for the Wigan side. Now Vaughan, not bad from Warrington. Following on from points, he took a risk. It's play on for Warrington. Dupree almost had an intercept. Tackle count restarts. Well, they've got 1, why not 2? Williams with the ball, working to the left. No joy there for Curry. Again, some loose offloading. But you can't blame them for attempting that at this point. Powell, again short side. Williams, trapped, got away from field. Vaughan with the ball, put a nice fend on. Got it around the corner. The pickup from Sam Powell was brilliant. 11 from the line, 13 to go. Leyland and Harrison, another ball on the bounce. Yates with it. Terrier-like, 4th tackle, Warrington. Quick time, they have a second try. Williams, a kick. Let's try it this side, right there. Brilliant catch. It was executed to perfection, and the try is scored by James Harrison. We might hear some Warrington singing.
Well, the crossfield kick produces results, and it was George Williams who kept the ball going. I thought Jay Field had done a great job to shut him down, but gets the offload. Paul Vaughan picked up beautifully there. That man was Sam Powell. And after George got not a dusty pass from dummy half, great play there, one-handed flick back on the inside. And the man to do that was Ben Curry. And James Harrison is the son of
Carl. Yeah, the Rhino. He's here. He's flown over. Yeah, absolutely. Flown over to see his son. Great character. A brilliant playing career. I'm sure that's a special moment for them. But consolation, if anything. But you're right, Ben Curry's done very well. Very calm, controlled, poised.
That was pretty skillful to have the ball in one hand and just throw it back inside the front rower. He's come off the bench and done a good job while he's been on.
The backstory of James Harrison started his rugby league with the Batley Bulldogs. How are they faring? A beautiful Mount Pleasant there. The mighty Batley Bulldogs. The ground with the slope like you've never seen before from one end to the other.
Slope and a half.
Incredible. We're getting ready to see the New Zealand Warriors, the Wars against the Raiders. The Canberra Raiders, NRL game number 3 in Vegas. Second here for the day. There is so much to look forward to around the Warriors this year. James Fisher-Harris, Luke Metcalf has started the year so well in the pre-season challenge. That's all coming up next. Raiders and Warriors from the NRL, 42-12, 11 minutes to go. Well, you got 2-1 on a third. Ashton. I'd like to think Matty Ashton would get a try in Vegas, given his record. French driving tackle. All of a sudden, Warrington have found voice. Unhappy there was no penalty call there. Yates does well.
Pass. Yates need to just look to his right. A couple of unmarked players there.
Incredible. Suddenly the speed of the Warrington side on the back of 2 tries. Found a gear we haven't seen today. Powell has been good. Williams is everywhere. There's a lot of running going on for Warrington now. Last tackle 29 metres away. Tries from kicks. One on a third attempt. Williams didn't connect well, although, well, it was almost in front of Abismiski. He was cemented to the ground, and the try almost has gone begging. He wasn't jumping, Abis.
No, Abis was not even looking to take that.
Well, that was quite incredible. That would have been a third try for kicking inside about 5 or 6 minutes.
10 to go.
Oh dear, you're down to your last chip now if you're saying the comeback's on. But 42-12. It's got to go down as a bomb try because he had it. He had it. Wigan back in possession and over halfway, but the fire appears to have gone out. Smith. French. 4 tackles. 7 tries on the board for Wigan. Now Ellis is playing the middle, has been Superb field. Oh, they lost it over the shoulder. And referee Kendall says Wardle, it went forward to Marshall.
It was developing, wasn't it? Another movement from the Wigan team down that left side that involved Jay Field. This time he wasn't sure whether to hit the lead runner or get it out to Liam Marshall, and in the end it ricocheted off Wardle.
Gee, they have options there, don't they? They got options there.
Well, Harry Smith does. We speak about the ball playing of Kate Ellis and how important it is. Harry Smith does a fair job of squaring things up too, which as a halfback you have to do these. That's got to be part of your game.
He's got a really neat game, Randy. Really neat kicking game, and as you said, all those little parts, squaring up defences, creating space on the outside for others.
Yep.
Harry does that brilliantly.
Warrington back in possession outside their 30. Has been good. Leyland suddenly getting a few more possessions in the centre of the field.
I think Sam has to think about his halves, like not George Williams, but I know there's an experienced man in Ratchford, Stefan Ratchford.
That was the question, Randy, going into
Leyland.
Yeah. Does he put Steph Ratchford in there alongside George Williams? And he went with Ollie Leyland again. They're obviously waiting for Leon Hayes to come back from. It's been a long-term injury. I think he's just a matter of weeks away now. Fractured dislocation last year, disappointing because he had a really good start to the season.
Oh boy, flick pass that looked forward for sure. Williams and Harrison. I mean, it was a good attempted skill, flick pass. Now he's got it back, Williams. Last tackle play. Leyland with it. Decides to kick. Leap in the air and a lovely catch by Kieran. But Warrington are going end to end. The last 10 minutes, the Wigan side has had less than 30% of the ball.
And the last 3 or 4 sets that Wigan have had the ball, they've made errors. They've turned the ball over, so they've just given it back to Warrington, who are enjoying a bit of space.
Look at this.
Just a quick tap and take the meters on offer.
French sold it beautifully there. And obviously informed the referee on taking a tap. So Liam Byrne, with that hit up for Wigan, started the match up in the front row. Still reckon there's 7 minutes for Liam to break his try-scoring drought. That other front row has scored today. Why not one for Liam? It would be the ultimate Vegas souvenir for the big fella. French now. Field.
Good defence.
Needs to be every time. King it was.
King. Yep.
Halfway. And we'll take another run. 40 metres away, and he's got a little error at the end. Wigan's hands letting them down. The sting has gone out of the attack. Worry for Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Interesting. Canberra Raiders. Ricky's Raiders in Vegas, taking on the New Zealand Warriors next. The Raiders, who finished incredibly with the 3 wins straight at the end of the last season and missed the finals on 4 and against, made Ricky feel what could have been. Now they play the Warriors, who off the field had a great year. On the field, not so. Need to start with a win, get the momentum going, the Warriors in 2025.
I don't know how much you read into trial form, but you can't ignore it, and the Warriors have been outstanding in their 2 pre-season Challenge Cup games.
Of course, this Wigan side as well want to get showered, get into their seats maybe, and sit and watch a former teammate of theirs, Morgan Smithies, playing for Ricky's Raiders. Now they could do that with a win under their belt and 2 competition points, Vossi.
Well, the guile of Williams on show now, Brian, here for Warrington. He's having a go. He's produced the whole box and dice in terms of passes in the last 5-10 minutes.
Well, they were dangerous in the opening 20-25 minutes, weren't they? You could see that it was Dufty, it was Williams.
Toby King disallowed try.
Yes, yeah, and they came so close. If they get one early, the game could have been different. But they missed their chances in the first half, and the try just before the break really broke their heart. Like, went from 18-0 to 24, and 18 you're thinking, one try, you can get back into it. When you're down 4 converted tries, it's a challenge.
It's damage limitation, really, is no matter what you'd say. Half-time, it's very hard to think anything other than this could get ugly.
This is 20 minutes out of scrum, and a little set play straight away. Dufty with the ball, skips across field, does some more skipping, then sets sail to score. It's what he does so well. keeps a defence guessing. He's done it all his career.
Black ball try.
Little check with a bunker, but it could be tries in 3 straight weeks for Matt Duffy.
Yeah, off the back of a Wigan error, they get the possession again. And by far the biggest threat in the first half was Matt Duffy, without doubt. And just hasn't had the opportunity.
Duffy's in possession of the ball. Still in possession.
Takes
still in possession at this point.
Gets there.
No, I can see the ball is grounded. That's
takes
try.
borderline.
Thank you. I've made my decision.
Drags him with him really, and does a great job to get himself over, despite them being 3 Wigan defenders around him.
Josh, wait till I get there.
He's a powerful player. He had that run earlier in the game and passed at the end. I thought he should have taken him on because he's hard to stop. You know, he gets the speed up, and he's a strong boy as well.
I don't know whether you've ever looked back on a try he scored in our big game on Anzac Day some years ago for St George Illawarra against the Roosters 2019. I mean, the SCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground, has had great sporting moments, and Duffy provided his own. It was an amazing try.
Absolutely. He's one of those players, got it. You know, Bevan has it, Matt Duffy has it. He hasn't shown enough of it today, neither have his teammates. He's got rid of Wardle, he's got rid of Marshall, and Fields not being able to stop him. That's quite the finish.
It was a good set play off the scrum, but there was still a lot of work for Matt Duffy to do. And look at all the Wigan jerseys around him, and it was just the strength of him that saw him cross for now their 3rd try.
Actually, they're putting some pressure on the kickers for all the other games today. For the Raiders and the Warriors next up, we've had no misses, 10 from 10 from the goal kickers, who have had to try and simulate their goal-kicking practice, aiming. They've said they've been aiming at buildings and things like that, little poles, because the grounds, the soccer grounds where they've been training, there have not been anything like a rugby league post. So they've done very well, their respective kickers, Thulis and Kieran here. Warrington, well, I'll tell you, I know the game was long gone, but for the Warrington fans here, get into the 20s, you'll walk away with something against a Wigan defence that has been impeccable.
Not when the others. I know what you mean.
It was a long bow.
I know what you mean. You think you told me Warrington were going to get 18 points today against that Wigan defence. I'd say we got a game on our hands.
Yeah.
But so good of Wigan being in attack and married up with that outstanding defence for the majority of this game. I'm not sure there's much they can take out of this.
Sorry, Warrington fans, I tried.
I've got to agree. They've taken their foot off the gas, Wigan, and they've made some errors which they didn't in the opening 50, 60 minutes of the game.
It might change right from this scrum. So here they go, a few of the magicians, and Smith, and up it comes for Field, for Marshall. It's that easy. They're sitting on the back porch just shelling peas. And they've got another try. Marshall finishes off a scrum play, 50 not beyond Wigan now.
Well, Liam Marshall finally gets a try, and he is the prolific try scorer in this team. They all do their job on the inside again. Very impressed with the young halfback, Harry Smith, and just watch how he squares everyone up and creates space for the men on the outside. Jay Field did his job with his hands straight out to Marshall. They have been impressive. They have been really impressive, the Warriors, Wigan side.
You got speed like Field. That's right. Field just wants you to give him his early ball, stress the defence, and then his speed will take care of everything else. And he's got a passing ability as well. Paddy Richards, who's in town, topping that list.
I saw Paddy Richards. Yeah. I've seen him around town. Liam Marshall scoring his 141st try for Wigan.
That's something relaying to the fans. The identities you see around Martin Fire,
who's who,
Dennis Betts, Sean Wayne here, and there's been some greats of British Rugby League, and then of course CET. Hasn't he let himself go, Andrew? Anything else?
Sure has.
Sharks Hall of Famer here in Vegas.
Well, that's been a big thing for all these English fans that have come over following the Wigan Warriors and following the Warrington Wolves. They love rugby league. They love the NRL action. They love the greats of the game. They see Mal Meninga. They want to get pictures and autographs with Mal Meninga. Cool. Same with Petro Sivanasiva, who's in town. And they've been flooded for photographs from all these eager rugby league supporters that have flown over.
And that is the thing. Just for those of you who may be contemplating Vegas in the future,
do it.
The access. Resorts World, which has been a great host to the NRL and Super League sides. I mean, you just go down for your morning coffee and you're sitting there with a New Zealand Warriors player, with a Canberra Raider, you'll run into a Wigan star, you'll run into a former great, all within your first 10 minutes of your day.
It's so obliging for photographs, for autographs. That's what's really hit me. The stars of the Super League and the NRL have done themselves proud.
So this is to keep the record going. Kieran with a kick. Kieran with the kick. He's done it again. Adam Kieran. They like kickers in the NFL, you know. Adam Kieran, he might need a manager. He's kicked 8 from 8.
He has kicked 8 from 8. No, just watch the scrum play again. Off the back of the scrum. Leaming to Harry Smith. Does a job. As does Jay Field. Short kick off, unsuccessful from the Warrington Wolves. And we'll see if Wigan can run in their 9th try of the afternoon.
And here in the Super League, it is a penalty setter of halfway.
I would say Adam Kieran's kicks, I would say at least 5 have been on the sideline. At least 5.
Yeah. 48-18. Looking for the 50 in Vegas with 1 minute to go. 1 minute of game 1 to go in what has been another day of triumph for the Wigan Warriors. Who can jag one late? Going to be one of the big boys. So much more to come, but quite a benchmark laid by Wigan. Intercept. It is Ashton's chance. The Warrington Wolves may finish with a try. Ashton loses a boot and still goes all the way. Well, he gets a Vegas highlight. 100 metres. Don't worry about the dimensions of the field. Wolfie, the Warrington mascot's going off. That's an exciting finish to the game.
Well, I thought it was going to be a Wigan try. Bevan French just drifting across the field. Went for the long one, and it's Matty Ashton who does a great job. Remarkable job, taking the intercept. Bevan French with the floated pass. Ashton down the sideline. And it was Jay Field coming across in cover. He gets there, just the right-hand fen is enough. The boot comes off. He maintains enough speed to get himself there. That's pretty exciting. That's a good way for the Warrington fans to finish. They got up on their feet. Standing ovation from the other end of the field from the fans.
Well,
they'll feel better about themselves.
All the regular try scorers have scored. Oh. And what about the goal kickers? Thurles finishes it off. So what is that? 12 from 12. And more than half of them from the sideline. And what a great start to this huge day for rugby league it has been. The win on the scoreboard is emphatic. The play for the first 55 minutes was about as good as you will see. They are worthy Super League champions. They are the real deal.